Hello, student. Assalamu alaikum. We have started infectious diseases from medicine, and today we are going to discuss another topic from infectious diseases, which is brucellosis. First of all, we will look a scenario on this topic. So, there is a case scenario of a 40-year-old veterinary doctor who presented to the OPD with 2 month history of low-grade fever. The doctor is complaining of low-grade fever, drenching sweats, and weakness, joint pains, and weight loss. On lab investigation, his HB was 10 milligram per dl, which was low. Normally, the hemoglobin of the male is range from 16 to 18. The hemoglobin of the male range from 16 to 18, and that of female range from 14 to 16 milligram per dl. Now here his HB is 10 milligram per dl. It's mean the patient is anemic. He had lymphadenopathy, hepatosplenomegaly on examination, and his platelet count was also low. So in this history there is a veterinary doctor, and we know that the doctor deals with animals, and in animals the infection can transfer from animal to human beings and can result in low grade fever, sweats, and joint pains, and the patient may get lymphadenopathy and hepatosplenomegaly. So our diagnosis is brucellosis. Why not our diagnosis is typhoid fever? Because in the typhoid fever there will be a history of rash also. In typhoid fever there is also history of thrombocytopenia, history of hepatosplenomegaly, history of lymphadenopathy, but there will be sign symptom of the gastrointestinal tract, that is there will be abdominal pain, there will be either diarrhea or constipation, or diarrhea alternate with constipation. There will be a history of a rash which is called the rose spot rash on the chest and on the back of the patient. So in this case our diagnosis is brucellosis. It is basically a zoonotic infection. Zoonotic mean it is transferred from the animal to the human. Now in which from which animal it can be transferred? It can be transferred from goat, sheep, camels, cattle, pigs, and dogs. The agent causing this disease is a gram negative bacilli, and there are 4 species of dead bacilli, which is Brucella melitensis, Brucella abortus, Brucella sus, and Brucella lenis. The Brucella melitensis cause disease in goats, sheep, and camel, and abortus is found in cattle, sus is found in pigs, and lenis in dog. The disease is endemic in Africa, India, Asia, Central Asia, and South America. And the mode of transmission of disease is either by ingestion of the infected milk, the infected meat, and either by a skin cut or abrasion, and either by aerosol into the respiratory tract or by conjunctiva. So the animal excrete the species in milk, urine, feces, uterine products, and vaginal discharge, and these can contaminate. The contaminated milk can be ingested by human, or the unpasteurized, uncooked meat can ingestion can result in brucellosis in human, and these contaminated things can be aroused into the respiratory tract of human and can enter through the cut skin to the human body, can result in brucellosis in human. Now there are some clinical features. The bacteria live in the reticuloendothelial system for many years, so this will explain the chronicity and the tendency of the relapse of the disease. In acute illness, there will be high swinging temperature with rigor, with lethargy, with joint and muscle pain and scrotal pain, and we know that there is also high fever with body aches, in the typhoid fever also. But in the typhoid fever there will be a rash which is called rose spot rash. So occasional clinical features are in the brucellosis are delirium, constipation and abdominal pain. These are the occasional feature, which means they will sometime present, or in majority cases these will not present, but in minority cases these symptoms can occur in infection of brucellosis. But these symptoms are very much common in typhoid fever. The constipation and abdominal pain is related to the typhoid fever, but in the typhoid fever there will be a rash also, and there will be no history of veterinary doctor. There will be history of contaminated food, and there will be history of rash as well. There are on examination there will be lymphadenopathy, splenomegaly and thrombocytopenia. Now we know that in dengue fever there is also high grade fever with rigor, with body aches and with thrombocytopenia. The thrombocytopenia and these three features are also common to the dengue fever. But in the dengue fever there will be a rash after the fever, and that rash will be not a rose spot like rash. That will be a maculopapular type of rash, and there will be no splenomegaly, no lymphadenopathy. The splenomegaly and lymphadenopathy are not that much common in the dengue fever, but these things are common in the typhoid fever and in the brucellosis. But the typhoid fever will be differentiated by the gastrointestinal sign symptom as well as by the rash. Now, how will we diagnose? The definitive and the correct diagnosis of the disease will be confirmed on the culture of the organism, and in the 70 to 80% cases the culture is positive for brucellomelanosis, which means that this type of species causing the disease is very common, and in the 50% cases it is positive for Brucella abortus. We can also do bone marrow culture, but it is not routinely done. We can also do CSF culture, but in that case only if we suspect neurobrucellosis, then we can do CSF culture. And in serology the antibody will be there will be fourfold rise in the antibody titer, because there is infection in the body, so our antibody titer will be rise. And this will support the diagnosis of acute infection. The antibody will show us that there is acute infection in the body, and to confirm that acute infection we will must do the blood culture, and blood culture is the specific and definitive diagnostic test for brucellosis. Now, before the understanding the treatment, we have to understand the clinical feature of the brucellosis. If the infection is localized to an area, if the brucellosis is localized to the eye, that is, if it infect only the conjunctiva, then it will cause the and it will affect only the eye, then it can cause the uveitis and the retinal thrombophlebitis. But if it involves the CNS system, in the CNS it can cause meningitis, intracranial and subarachnoid hemorrhage, stroke and cranial nerve palsy. And in the CVS system it can cause myocarditis, endocarditis. In the blood system it can cause pain, cytopenia. And in the respiratory system it can cause hilar lymphadenopathy, peritonitis and abscesses. In the liver and spleen it can cause splenic abscess and liver calcification. If it involves the spine, it can cause spinal spondylitis, sarcoileitis, and prevertebral psoas abscess. If it involves the joint and bone, it can cause suppurative arthritis, which means there will be inflammation as well as infection of the joint. It can cause synovitis, which means that there will be inflammation of the synovial membrane. It can cause the bursitis, inflammation of the bursa. Osteomyelitis means inflammation of the soft tissue of the musculoskeletal system. In rib, it can cause myelopathy and malodorous perspiration. The treatment of choice for the disease is basically the The treatment of choice is the aminoglycoside and the tetracycline. The bacteria is sensitive to these two drugs. Now, in the adult, if the disease is not localized and it is causing systemic symptoms like fever, like body aches, headaches, rigors, and lymphadenopathy, splenomegaly, and all the generalized sign symptoms, then we have to give doxycycline with gentamicin. The dose of doxycycline will be 100 milligram 2 times a day and for 6 weeks. And we can give gentamicin 5 milligram per kg intravenously once a day. One injection of gentamicin and 2 tablets of doxymicin will be taken, and the gentamicin duration is for 1 week while the doxycycline will be taken for 6 weeks. And for as alternative therapy, we can also take rifampicin with doxycycline. If gentamicin is not available, then we can take rifampicin with the doxycycline, and the dose of doxycycline will be the same, that is 100 milligram 2 times a day for 6 weeks, and the rifampicin will be 600 milligram to 900 milligram depending on the severity of the disease. We can give in the moderate form of the disease we can give 600 milligram, but in the severe we can give 900 milligram, and 1 time a day for 6 weeks. If the disease causing infection in the bone, then we can give doxycycline plus rifampicin plus gentamicin. Gentamicin will be given 5 milligram per kg injection once a day for 1 week, and rifampicin dose will be the same, that is 600 to 900 once a day for 6 weeks, and doxy 100 milligram 2 times a day for 6 weeks. The alternative therapy for the bone disease is the ciprofloxacin and rifampicin. Instead of doxycycline, we can add ciprofloxacin, and the dose of ciprofloxacin will be 750 and will be given 2 times a day for 3 months, and rifampicin in this case will also be given for 3 months. If it causes neurobrucellosis, then we can give doxycycline with rifampicin with ceftriaxone, which is a third generation cephalosporin. In the bone disease, we add the doxyrifampicin with the aminoglycoside, which was gentamicin. But in the neurobrucellosis, we will add the doxy with the rifampicin with the cephalosporin group. Here we have added the cephalosporin group. So the dose of the doxy and the rifampicin is same, and the duration is also same, but the dose of ceftriaxone is basically 2 milligram given through injection 2 times a day until CSF is clear. If the susceptibility should be confirmed to know about the sensitivity of the bacteria to this drug. If it causes endocarditis, then we have to do the surgical treatment, surgical intervention, as well as the medical treatment. In the medical treatment, we have to give doxycycline with rifampicin with cotrimoxazole. Doxy 100 milligram, rifampicin 600 to 900 milligram, and cotrimoxazole in the dose of 5 milligram per kg intravenously for 6 months. And we can also add gentamicin to this. This will be the dosage of the endocarditis: doxy, rifampicin, cotrimoxazole, and gentamicin. And the cotrimoxazole for 6 months and gentamicin for 2 to 4 weeks. For the pregnant, we can give rifampicin with cotrimoxazole, rifampicin 600 to 900 the old dose, and cotrimoxazole 5 milligram per kg of trimethoprim component, and it will be given for 4 weeks. Now thank you. If you people are liking my video, please subscribe to my channel. And remember one thing, that in the endocarditis we have to must do the surgical intervention with the medical treatment. Thank you.